So yeah, just from the beginning on, good to be here with you and have this conversation. If you might share who you are and what you're doing, a short introduction to what you are doing.
Sure, happy to do so. So I'm Agnieszka Lipinski. I'm the co-founder from Transcend Mind. What we are doing is we are trying to connect individuals with psychedelic retreats, and also try to raise some awareness that there is a path beyond speaking therapy or medication, and to raise awareness in that kind of sense. My background is that I'm a counselor, I'm an introspective hypnosis practitioner, and I'm also an art therapist. And through my work that I've done, I just realized that the key is really it lays in the subconscious mind, and there are a lot of modalities in how you can, let's say, get the information out of the subconscious mind, and one of us is through psychedelics. And I think through my experience and the experience of my clients, I've seen big breakthroughs and transformations through the use of psychedelics.
Oh, no, wonderful. Thanks for sharing. And sounds like you're really aware of the power of psychedelics and how they can impact people's lives in a very significant way. Um, Amazing. So today I want to talk about psychedelic retreats, as I've heard somewhere that there's a psychedelic retreat planned, a German psychedelic retreat in the Netherlands with some truffles. And I was asking myself this question of really getting down to the fundamentals and to the core of what are psychedelic retreats? Because it seems like such a big and broad and vast questions, and there's so much variety, but just at the core, what are psychedelic retreats?
At the core, psychedelic retreat is a safe space where you can explore psychedelics with experienced facilitators, and being guided through the journey beforehand, during, and afterwards, and also to connect with like-minded people that are on a similar journey with you.
Mhm. I love that. I love that. That's super, super essential to the core, broken down. Yeah, amazing. And it kind of answered almost my second question, but if you're open or if you might elaborate on that, why do psychedelic retreats exist? Why did they, how did they come into being? Why do they exist? What inspired you to bring one into the marketplace?
Firstly, psychedelics are extremely powerful if you are on your healing journey, and it's backed up by science, and backed up by many stories from people who went to retreats. On the other hand, setting is extremely important for your psychedelic journey. So if you go to a retreat, then if you go to the right one, you can be sure that you are in a safe space, in a great setting, in order to having a good session. And this is extremely important, that for the first part, the dosage is right, that you are in the right mental state, and also that you feel safe in where you are. So this is extremely important. On the other hand, it's also that it can be a bit daunting to maybe just go to one particular facilitator and just be just by yourself, like in a one-on-one session. For some people, it works fine, but it can be a bit daunting. So being in a circle with many facilitators can be quite nice. And also, again, like there's so much healing in the sharings of the others and hearing their stories and where they came from. And so it's extremely powerful and extremely helpful. And again, if you're going to the right retreat, you know for sure that the setting will be right for you, and that you will experience a great transformative journey.
Mhm. Oh, I love that. So yeah, it sounds like this choosing the right retreat is kind of part of the it helps to facilitate your process of even setting and getting into the right set and the right setting for yourself by reaching out to a retreat, being in communication, and
Yes.
also the aspect of there being a couple of facilitators and a group of people. I've never really thought about that one being like a crucial factor for someone to say like, yeah, I might not do it alone. I might not even do it with another person one-on-one because that feels very daunting. But in a group, maybe I can even bring somebody that I like and that is also curious, and there's a couple of people, and then it feels much safer to engage in this experience. And on top, we're even benefiting from hearing the experience of other people and sharing about it. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's wonderful. And that moves me kind of into the next area of questions. You've touched on that a bit, but I would love for you to elaborate a little bit on the specific benefits and risks. So just firstly, first part is just like, what are the benefits of this retreat setting, compromised and kind of summarized?
The benefits is that you should be in good hands. Like you will be working with experienced practitioners who have done those retreats for a long time, have eventually a psychological degree as well. And you are fully being taken care of. Like from the minute you step into the retreat, like a lot of things are being taken care of you. So you are in a space where you actually can just be. And it's also a little bit about wellness. Like, I mean, you will be given some absolutely great healthy food as well, and you just feel like in a very nice warm space. And for some people, it's already healing to see that they are not alone. Like there will be a part in every retreat where you might be sharing a little bit of your story and your intentions why you're coming in. And don't underestimate the power of hearing that someone is going through the same journey as you, and you feel less alone, or you feel like, okay, like, yeah, I'm not the only one struggling with the symptoms XYZ. So that can be really, really important. And again, the benefits of a retreat, like it is not just a retreat, it is the work that is done beforehand. Like, there will be some calls beforehand to prepare you for that. And obviously, like in a good retreat, you have a great amount of, or a good ratio between a facilitator and a participant as well. So that, whenever you're struggling during your session, that that there's someone there that can help you going through this roadblock that you are currently experiencing. And again, you are not left alone afterwards. So that means that you usually have some calls afterwards as well. That is great to help you to integrate the session, because I think what I really want to emphasize today is as well is that a psychedelic retreat is a huge catalyst in your healing journey. And certainly there are parts of you that will be healed, but it will also show you some parts where you need to work on. Like it gives you the answers, right? And there's some healing involved as well. But after the retreat is where the actual work starts,
Mm-hmm.
where you need to put into action what you have learned, what kind of insights you got. So therefore, like the integration part is extremely crucial as well. So I would say in a good retreat session, there are definitely some benefits. And plus, I mean, still worth to mention is people bond with the other participants again. Like friendships can be created through that, and that's just really, really great. And it becomes like some sort of like support group as well. Like some people connect via WhatsApp group afterwards, etc. And you're just sharing your story and how you're dealing with your day-to-day life. Because after a psychedelic session, this can be a bit challenging from time to time. But then you have your people who experience the same thing as you, and that's quite helpful, because the thing is, in reality, once you're getting out of a retreat and you try to speak to someone who has not have taken psychedelics beforehand, it's very, very difficult for them to understand how you're feeling, what you experienced. They are just not able to connect. They're really just not able to connect. And it really helps then to have a group of people or the facilitators to reach out to just share and discuss how you're feeling, and you're not getting the stamp of I'm crazy because you have seen some dragons, or you connected or went to other dimensions in your journey. So no, everyone understands you and feels you and can connect with you.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel that. I feel this like core point of community. I've seen even recently some studies on that, of like really like looking at the tribal bonding that is happening in a shared psychedelic experience, right? There's like actual scientific research being done on this aspect of community, of this aspect of bonding in a retreat setting. And it sounds like what you're saying is it's like it's this holistic package of everything, the external thing of like, okay, I have a place to sleep, I have food, I don't need to take care of anything anymore, but I can just really hone in on the experience
Yeah,
itself.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
also, yeah, and the safety as well. The I don't have to care about if I go crazy that I do something bad, but there's somebody there that can give them my full attention, and that feels very safe. And then afterwards as well, I can share, and I can even have a support group or talk about my experience, and I don't feel alone. Which kind of brings me to the next point, because in my experience as well, there's kind of a lot of retreats actually that are not honing in as much on the preparation and the integration. A lot of retreats I know of or have visited myself, there's a call beforehand, maybe if even, right? And then at times there's no follow-up afterwards, after the experience, which kind of brings me also to the risk itself of the retreat setting, and also not being sure like how to choose a retreat, but
Yeah,
being that being out of the question, right? I've also had the experience of like, okay, a retreat setting can be this safe container, but it can actually also be quite the opposite of like, okay, I feel not safe here, and now I'm in a vulnerable situation, and now what? And now I feel traumatized, maybe even from the experience, and then left alone afterwards. So I'm curious if you can kind of
yeah.
summarize or speak on what are the risks of a retreat setting.
Okay, firstly, what you just mentioned, if a retreat center is not offering some preparation calls, and I'm speaking of plurals, right? And if they're not offering some sort of integration called integration phase, red flag, don't book this retreat. It's not a very good sign. It's really not a very good sign. Another red flag is what I would always suggest to anyone who's interested in a retreat, call them. Call them regardless. Have a conversation with them, and firstly also like see if you are vibing with that person. Like, it is extremely important that you like that person, that you like the facilitator, and this then helps you to relax as well once you are in this vulnerable state. So see if you actually like the person. And also on the website, sometimes you can see what their approaches are, what their vision is, what their mission is. Can you connect with them? Yes? Good. Okay, give them a call. See what they can do for you. And then, yeah, once you're in a call, it's extremely important to ask about the ratio of facilitator and participant. So if someone says, okay, there are like 30 people coming to our retreat, it could be quite a red flag as well, unless there are a lot of facilitators there as well. But I believe, and studies shown this as well, in smaller groups. I think a perfect ratio between facilitators and participants is like one facilitator for 3, maximum 4 people. So if you hear that the ratio is different than that, you should question that and just wonder if you will get the support, if you then need the support through that. There is, of course, if you find yourself in a, I mean, let's say your medical history wasn't discussed beforehand, and you experience some symptoms of psychosis or schizophrenia. It is not recommended for people to go into a retreat. It can just into a psychedelic retreat. It can just worsen the symptoms. So yeah, this is one risk. Another risk is obviously if the setting is not right. Unfortunately, I have heard of people that yeah, got a traumatic experience because they didn't feel safe. The facilitators weren't compassionate enough, weren't helping them, and or ending the session abruptly. So it is like, yeah, if you're not getting the support while you're in this vulnerable space, it can really yeah, lead to a bad trip. And also, like, if you're just, again, like, usually when you are feeling unsafe for whatever reason, because the facilitators or participants or whatnot, then like you should maybe set your boundaries and just say, like, okay, like, I'm not doing it. Then just listen to your gut feeling, because you most likely won't have a good experience if you are already feeling on edge, and if you're already feeling like, I am afraid to lose, to become that vulnerable and lose some sense of control. So yeah, I mean, there are risks involved if you are choosing the wrong retreat. But again, it's all about doing the preparation work for yourself, doing the right research, like those things that I mentioned with see if they are doing the pre-calls, the integration. Are they asking about your medical history? What is the ratio of participants, and see if that sounds good to you or not. I do want to mention, because of course now we spoke about the risks, and that it sometimes in rare occasions can lead to another traumatic experience if you are then in the wrong setting. But studies shown that plant medicine is extremely safe. Like psilocybin is extremely safe. Only 0.4% needed a medical emergency intervention after taking them psilocybin. So among of all the psychedelics that are out there, which all have their beautiful benefits, again, psilocybin is one of the safest. Like, again, 0.4% that needed medical emergency intervention, but it's extremely safe in the right setting.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole point of the retreat setting itself, right? It's to increase the safety of the experience, because the risks are there if you're at the retreat setting or not. Uh, but it can be, yeah, it can be enhanced, right? The potentiality to everything is enhanced, and now I'm not sure, now I'm worrying or doubting the facilitators or the
Yeah,
participants even, and then
yeah,
that is influencing me
that's
negatively. But also generally, the retreat setting is there to especially provide the safety and kind of reduce the risks of the psychedelic uh, yeah, dangers that are kind of inherent in the psychedelic experience, kind of to make them more safe and decrease the risks from them arising in the experience. And then if they arise, be there and right,
yeah,
and the support,
yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. Like in a good psychedelic retreat, you will feel welcomed, you will feel warm, you will feel heard, and you will feel safe. Like, you're just yeah, a lot of people experience like some sort of, like, yeah, connecting with themselves, then as well connecting with others in a very different way. And this is just beautiful. You're feeling, yeah, at the end of the retreat, you're feeling, your heart feels so open, and you're feeling so good inside. And then, yeah, stepping into the real world again feels sometimes like a very hard like a very hard cut and very hard shift. But yeah, generally this is the feeling that you should take out of a retreat, and how you should feel throughout it is safe, calm, peaceful, warm, loving. Like everyone is extremely, loving and caring, and yeah, nurtured.
Yeah, it feels like home for me sometimes.
Yeah,
Just like being there sometimes just for one day, it feels like, oh, I've arrived home and this is my family now, and it's like it's super nice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this feeling of home. But then coming kind of to the last questions is like not just what one should consider when choosing a retreat. You answered that already, but like how do I when I'm not at the retreat, right? I'm not there yet, but I maybe have a couple of calls lined up, preparation calls with the retreat. How do I make sure that this retreat that I'm choosing is the right fit for me? How do I make sure that I do resonate with the facilitators that are present for my experience?
I think then in the end, I mean, if the parameters are right, like there are those pre-calls, you see that there's like the aftercare, the integration part, and the website resonates with you as well, their vision, their mission, their approach. Then it really just comes down to, let's say, like the human connection that you are making with the facilitator, with the person that you spoke to. That for one. What you could also perhaps ask is if there's a possibility to connect with previous participants in order to get a testimonial from them. So that would be another good choice. But if those parameters that I mentioned are all there, then it just really like, do you click with that person? Like, do you feel safe like through speaking to them, or are there any things that worry you or not? And again, it's always a good idea to ask for more testimonies, to be connected to other people, or maybe to then speak to the actual facilitator as well, because sometimes the person that you have on the phone may not necessarily be facilitating at your retreat, but you could then also like just speak to that person who will actually be present when you would be there, and just ask your questions. So I think, yeah, those are some good ideas. And usually you will find some reviews online as well on those retreats, like some testimonies, but it's always a good idea to also ask for more testimonies on the call.
Yeah, and double check for yourself. And I guess, yeah, that's the core feeling. There's something in you that's like, I know that this is right. And even when you're there, as you just mentioned, right? Then it resonates not, then you can still decide not to engage and
Yeah.
basically leave. Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. I guess that's about it for our conversation today. Just to let people know, would you like to share about an upcoming retreat that you have planned, just to for people who are curious about it?
Yes, thank you so much for giving me that space. Yes, indeed. So we are planning our next retreat, which will be in September, from the 6th of September until the 8th of September. It will be a German one. So every German-speaking native speakers are extremely welcome. We are planning to have some English retreats in the future as well, probably in a mix of one German one English one. But yeah, the next one in September, beginning of September, will be a German one. And yeah, we are very much looking forward to it, and are already in a preparation.
Yes, it's going to be in the Netherlands, and I'm going to be there as well as a participant, and that's very exciting for me. Yeah, because I've never been actually to a psilocybin retreat setting. Amazing. Thank you so much for your time and your answers and your love here. And that's
Thank,
about it.
thank you so much for being that I was able to be here. Thank you.